Good afternoon, Mr. Indra Sirigiri, Manasa Sirigiri, directors of Link2 Group. Mr. Indra Sirigiri is also the executive chairman of the Link2 Group, one of the most successful companies in New Zealand, and we have had the pleasure of being associated with you since you started, and we also had the pleasure of watching the company grow. You have won several awards everywhere. You have won the Supreme Business Award of Indian Newslink. You also won the Employer of Choice Award, and you are the best of best in Westpac and various other organizations. Mr. Sirigiri, please tell us how this journey started and how Link2 Group has diversified to offer a variety of services.
See, I am basically a civil engineer background, and right from the beginning when I was in India, always had a passion of doing business. And in saying that, I was also working as an employee, and simultaneously I was having my own practice, and we were into engineering.
This was in Hyderabad, India.
This was in Hyderabad in India.
Right.
But later on, when we migrated to New Zealand, and as you know, like the professional jobs was hard to get into.
This was in year
1997,
Right.
February, 1st of March, we were in New Zealand. And then we were looking for jobs and all, and we figured out that it's not possible to get into professional jobs because there was some other registration that all needed here. So then we thought, okay, let us start somewhere. And I joined in a printing industry as an office coordinator, and the journey started from there. And Mansa also, she was not a employee or anything. She didn't work in the past. She
Right.
had no academics, and it was all new for us to start the journey. And I was doing my job, and later on, after 8 months of arrival into New Zealand, she got a job in a plastic industry where she had to work on machine doing production on production line.
This was in East Auckland.
In precisely in Penrose.
Penrose.
Yeah. And there she was like a good worker. See, she only knew to work, that's it. And she broke the records of the company of last 13 years. They used to have the efficiency reports that need to be written.
Right.
And she was put in the night shift, and she was working, and she broke all the records of their efficiency reports, which they couldn't believe. And they tried putting her in the day shift, and they tested her, and they said, oh, she's a very good worker.
So operational efficiency has nothing to do with academic qualification.
That's what is proven here. And then later on, she was told that there is no further job for her
Oh, I see. Why was that?
because they lost the contract or something.
Okay.
But in saying that, they said that we can't afford to lose a worker like this. We got some other area where she can work into.
Right.
And that's where the business started as well. That was the opportunity given by them to work on a different, in a different area where she started with the hangers recycling. And it was like a production based one. The more you do, the more you can earn.
Must have been very challenging for both of you. Your young family, you had two young children.
Absolutely. When we came to New Zealand, after selling everything in India, whatever we had, we only left with $1,600 with us.
Right.
So we landed in New Zealand with $1,600. Two kids, like 11 years and 10 years old, son 11 years, daughter 10 years. That's how we started from scratch at my age of, again, 36 years. It was a new start again. Went to bank, changed the currency of US dollars into New Zealand, got $2,200, $2,200.
So that was all the capital you had.
Yes. And that went to buy a car.
Oh, I see.
Because without the car we can't. So I had to buy a second-hand car for $2,200 and start from there again. So the journey started, and the work from her side has really turned our lives. The hard work that she put in there, whatever we have today is just because of her initiative. She
Are you
was-
being modest or being,
It's a fact.
alright,
I'm telling the fact what happened exactly. Our lives changed because of that. Okay. So her production manager called me and she said that she has not got the job now, but this is the offer that she has got. We have got in front of you.
right,
If you want to take it up, you take it because she is such a good worker and you got the brain. That's what he said there. You know that during our awards, when we won the Supreme Business Award, he was also a guest there
yes,
and he was applauded for that. So he was a godfather, we can say. His name was Richard Skinner. So
yeah, I remember it was 2016's John Key's last event.
yes,
It was.
yeah,
A
15 days.
week later he resigned.
15 days, 2 weeks later, yeah. So that's how it started, and she was the only person working on that. Then I used to join her after my work, and we used to work till late nights, like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, go home, sleep for 6 hours, get up,
You will go for your job
and she will go for her job. And from one, then we thought, okay, this is too much for her now. We started employing 1 more person, 2 more person, 4 more persons, 10 more persons. At one time, within 2-3 years, we were up to 40 staff members. And from there, we diversified. We were only doing contract was that time. Then the clients themselves said that you got such a good workforce, why not you provide more staff for our purpose as well. That's where the idea of recruitment started there.
Okay.
And then we started filling up our employees. So in saying that, in last 27 years now, we were looking at our records, we have filled up, we have provided employment for 14,800 people. They came in, gone, whatever it
Incredible,
is.
incredible.
And that journey is still continuing. Like every week we have 10 to 15 staff walking in for interviews. Out of them, at least 50% are placed into the jobs.
Talking of recruitment and placement, which is the mainstay of Link to Group, you've got other activities too. In the face of the current problems that many migrants feel of exploitation, they are brought here, lured into the country. How does Link to, you have had such a clean record right from the beginning. Have you had any suggestion as to how this problem should be tackled? Are people who are exploited, do they come to you for jobs and ask you to see how you can help them?
Even this morning we had 2 candidates walk into our office who have been issued with that 6 months interim visas to work.
Do they belong to the recently exploited
Yes,
group of 30
yes,
people?
from Papakura.
Right.
And we are taking them on board.
I see. Okay.
Yes. And we also told them that if they know any other people who are suffering, they got about 40 people with them, friends and families, whatever it is. So we asked them to come as well. So in the coming weeks, they will be walking in, and we are going to provide employment for them as well.
So that is really good news, which means those 20 or 30 people who have been left high and dry in Auckland will have, after all, their life beginning here because of you.
That's what.
So
it
you
is.
have found placements for them?
Yeah, we already have demand from our clients. During last 3 years, we have been down by 40%, 35 to 40% because of the borders closure.
Yeah.
And people not in the country, going out of the country, or whatever the reasons are. But now it started picking up since last 2-3 months.
So how does the country's immigration policy influence the performance of a company like Link2? Are you entirely dependent on migrant workers, or do you take people locally?
See, first of all, our preference is to be like an easy process, which is having people locally hired.
Right.
But in saying that, if we can't find people in the country, there's no other option that we need to hire people coming from outside. That's what exactly is happening now. That accredited employer work visa is the same thing, and we are accredited.
I believe you
employees.
had an input into that with Immigration Minister Michael would
Yeah,
do when he
we
started.
had a discussion about it, but there are some issues which are still not solved
So the government did not listen to you fully.
fully. Yeah.
Okay.
One small example. See, they have government immigration has fixed a median wage.
Right.
A median wage of says $29.66 per hour, whatever it is. In saying that, an engineer, like a very high profile engineer, if he has to come and work here, he'll be offered $29.66. And a blue collar labor, which we hire as a warehouse personnel, is also offered $29.66. So this is not
There's no
right.
parity.
Yeah. So what I was suggesting to Michael Wood or whoever the immigration, wherever we come across, the median wage is fine. The reason for having median wage is to stop exploitation and whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it has to be categorized. See, you can't give a median wage, fixed median wage for a high profile engineer or a doctor or a IT, whatever person, same as a blue collar labor. So that's what the main
No,
problem
you are rated you are respected business leader in New Zealand, and people like Christopher Luxon, leader of the National Party, David Seymour, leader of ACT Party, they come and consult you. So would you be advising them how this should be restructured if they form the next government?
Yeah, we always do that. You know, in the past also we met them and we expressed the views, but we are waiting for someone to initiate what our recommendations are. Some initiation has to start.
Right. So, do you think a new government with National and ACT will revisit this issue and become more realistic?
Hoping for that. We are hoping and we are waiting for that.
So, is there a formula that Link 2 group would like to propound to make this sector more viable and make sure that everybody is in a win-win situation?
Yeah, of course. We got the formula, we can explain.
Right.
One example I tell you, I got people working with me, say $24 an hour. They are with us since last 7 years or 8 years, and now they are at $24 an hour. And we have shortage of staff. So we have to employ migrant workers, for which we got the accreditation.
Yeah.
So I am paying $29.66 for them now. And my worker, who is there with me since last 7-8 years, being a resident of New Zealand, is questioning me now, how come I am with you since so long and same work they are doing for $29.66 and I am paid $24?
Right.
It's a big problem for us. But in saying that, we are paying $29.66 and cutting our profits to satisfy our clients.
Right. Okay.
So if we provide staff on time to the client, we can retain the client.
Follow.
So there's no other option that we have to pay them.
So really, you're waiting for the new government to come in so that
And
you
to
can.
look into this median wage mainly. That
I'm
has
sure
to be like proportionate to the industry.
Christopher Luxon knows you very well. I'm sure and you are also in his electorate, so he has to satisfy you as a constituent as well. What are the other activities of Link 2 Group? What are the other? I believe you are in logistics, you are in warehousing.
Warehousing, yeah, mainly logistics, warehousing, and providing staff to retail industry, hospitality, or production, like manufacturing, food industry. We are in everywhere. We are covered entire logistics.
So now Manasa has taken a side step, and she's with
No,
you on the board.
She's always with me overlooks, and I'm looking into the management part. But small bits and pieces. For example, as I said this morning, 2 people walked in who are the sufferers of that recent exploitation. She sat with them and talked to them, and I don't know. She just talked and she came up to me and said, "Why not we take all of them?"
Okay.
Suddenly, I got a client after me since 2 weeks, looking for some construction or like road works or something. He was asking for 20 people. Why not we take them?
Very good.
And she's from the beginning so generous. She provides lunch for the staff if they are suffering with that. She offered them this morning, you don't worry. If you are, oh, the boy was so happy, like he said that, can I bring my friends also? Yes, you can bring them. Tomorrow they are walking in again.
So it's safe for us to say that those who are qualified, who are willing to work, no matter what kind of situation they are in, they might be in the exploited sector, they can look up to someone like you. If they are qualified and willing to work,
Yes.
they can find a job with
Yes,
you.
immediately
This
we
is
can
the
list.
highlight of Link 2 now. And we must thank Manasa Garu for this, because she's providing livelihood, whereas you're providing business
Yes, exactly. Exactly, that's right.
to people. That's wonderful.
Both going together, yeah.
Now, before we conclude, little bit about your temple project, which is stimulating the community now. You've got a few seconds to talk about.
We are very much into divinity side, like spiritual thing. You know, there's a temple called Balaji Temple in India, South India.
You're talking of the Venkateshwara Tirumala temple.
Tirumala Temple, which is like, they say that second biggest temple, or the people who come there in the world. And apparently 100,000 people visit that temple every day.
Hmm.
So again, she had the passion of having that temple in New Zealand. Since last 27 years we have been planning. So 2 years ago we decided, okay, if we have to start doing it, we need to have some land. We have to start somewhere. Then we purchased about 11 acres in Rama, south of Auckland.
Appropriate name.
Oh, of course, yeah, Rama, yeah, Hindu name. I don't know, it was all lined up, you know. And yep, and we have submitted the applications for resource consent. It's almost in the final stage now. It took 19 months for the process to happen. And all the consultants, like 9 consultants, were working on it, and finally it has taken shape where it is almost in final stages now. Once the resource consent is done, the temple work starts, and it goes into the
Excellent.
public as a charity organization.
I think that goes well with your overall approach to business of cleanliness, spirituality, and
Yes.
so forth. We thank you very much for your time, and I'm sure we'll have more occasions to talk to you about not only the Link to Group, its onward journey, but also about the temple. And with that, we thank you, Mr. Indra Sirigiri and Manasa Sirigiri, for your time with us this afternoon, and we look forward to meeting you further. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you too much.